Good evening. Good evening, everyone. You know, I flew in from San Francisco this morning, and I'll be honest with you, there was a moment on that plane where I thought, what am I going to say to these people? Not because I don't know the material, I've lived this material, but because this particular topic, why we keep attracting the wrong people, this one, it asks something of me too, every time. So before anything else, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for being in this room, for choosing to spend your evening here when you could be home on your couch watching a show and pretending your last relationship was entirely the other person's fault. I said what I said. My name is Nathan Cole. I am a mindset coach, a speaker, and if my ex-wife is to be believed, a man who is very good at giving advice. He took a long time to take himself. She's not wrong. She's not wrong. But that is a conversation for another evening. Tonight, I want to have an honest conversation with you. Not a comfortable one, an honest one. And I want to start with something that when I first heard it, I sat with for 3 days before I was ready to accept it. You are not attracting the wrong people. You are attracting a perfect reflection of where you are. I know. Some of you just shifted in your seats. Some of you are already composing a rebuttal in your head. And I want to address that immediately because this is the part that gets misunderstood. This is not, I repeat, this is not me saying that someone else's bad behavior is your fault. If a person lied to you, betrayed you, hurt you, that is their character, full stop. That is not on you. What I am saying is something different. I am asking, what in you made that feel familiar? What in you opened the door? And not just opened it, but went back and opened it again? Because here is the thing about attraction that nobody puts on a greeting card. Attraction is not random. Attraction is, more often than not, deeply, profoundly familiar. And familiar is not always healthy. I want to tell you about a woman I worked with. I'll call her Adaze. Brilliant woman. Built her company from nothing. Sharp, focused, remarkable. She came to me after her third relationship had ended in almost exactly the same way. Same pattern, different man, same script. And she sat across from me and she said, Nathan, what is wrong with these men? And I looked at her and I said, Adaze, nothing is wrong with them. They are doing exactly what they have always done. The question is, Kite, why do you keep opening the door? She didn't speak for almost a minute. And then she said, because it feels like home, because it feels like home. Wherever you first learned what love felt like, whether that was in your parents' house, in your first heartbreak, in the relationship that shaped you before you knew you were being shaped, that experience became your emotional blueprint, and you carry that blueprint into every room, into every encounter, without knowing it, without choosing it. Your nervous system is not looking for the right person, it is looking for the familiar person. And until you interrupt that, nothing changes. The faces change, the names change, the WhatsApp contact changes, the story stays the same.
Now, I want to talk about something that I think is the root of all of this. And I'm going to be personal here because I don't think I have the right to ask you to look inward if I'm not willing to do the same. I remember this was maybe 12, 13 years ago. I was in Florida for a conference, a personal development conference, ironically. And I met someone, and within 2 weeks I was convinced this was the person. Within a month, I had introduced her to people in my life. Within 3 months, I was planning around her. And a friend of mine, a man I respect deeply, he sat me down and he said, Nathan, she is not consistent. You are consistent for the both of you. You are doing the work of two people and calling it chemistry. And I am not proud of this. I defended her. I explained her. I made excuses that would have made a lawyer proud.
Because here is what I understand now that I didn't understand then. When you have grown up or been through enough, where love comes with conditions, where love has to be chased or earned or proved, peace starts to feel like absence. Consistency starts to feel like boredom. Someone treating you well, consistently without drama. Your nervous system says, something is wrong, something is missing, and what is missing is the chaos you are used to, not love. Chaos. This is what low self-worth looks like in real life. It doesn't arrive wearing a sign. It arrives saying, but I just like passion. It says, I need someone who challenges me. It says, I bring out the best in complicated people. And it is convincing because it has been rehearsed for years. Jim Rohn said, we are the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with. And I extend that. We are the emotional average of every relationship we have accepted. Every time you accepted less, your average shifted downward, and until you consciously, deliberately raise your own standard from the inside, you will keep selecting what matches your internal measurement. Not because you deserve less, because less is what feels like normal. So let me make this practical, because I think you deserve specifics, not just concepts. There are 3 signs that a pattern is playing out in your relationship. And as I go through them, I want you to be honest. Not with me, with yourself. Sign 1. The relationship moved very fast at the beginning. Intensity that felt overwhelming in the best possible way. Talking every day by week 1. Deep declarations of feeling before you even had your first disagreement. Meeting their world before you really knew who they were. It felt extraordinary, like, finally, this is called love bombing, and it is a flag, even when the person doing it doesn't know they are doing it. Because what comes after the intensity always pulls back, and when it does, you chase. And the chase is what hooks you. Sign 2, you are doing most of the emotional labor. You are the one checking in, the one initiating the difficult conversations, the one managing their feelings and your own simultaneously. And you tell yourself, this is just how I am. I care deeply. But caring is not a one-person sport. And if you are the only one caring, that is not a relationship. That is a performance with a reluctant co-star. Sign 3, and this one, people resist. Your friends don't like the person. Now, your friends aren't always right, but the people who knew you before this relationship, who have watched you at your best, who have no emotional stake in the outcome, when they are consistently raising concern, do not dismiss it. Because love is not blind by accident. Love is blind by design. And sometimes the people standing outside can see what the people inside cannot. I remember, this was in Lagos, Nigeria, last, I think 2 weeks ago, at a dinner. A friend of mine, her friends, her family, everyone around her had the same feeling about the man she was with. And she said to all of them, you just don't see what I see. And I remember thinking quietly, yes, that is precisely the problem. I want to slow down for a moment because there is a line I come back to constantly in this work. Nobody is quite sure who first said it, but it has sat in my chest for years, and it frames everything I've said tonight. You cannot change what you refuse to confront. Sit with that. The pattern doesn't continue because you are weak. It doesn't continue because you are broken or beyond repair. It continues because there is something underneath it, a belief, a wound, a story you have been telling yourself that you have not yet been willing to look at directly. And I understand why, because confronting it means accepting that the problem is not entirely out there, not in the bad partners, not in the times, not in men these days or women these days. It means accepting that some of the work is in here.
And that is terrifying, but it is also, I promise you this, is the most liberating thing you will ever do, because the moment you stop waiting for the world to change and begin changing your relationship with yourself, you step into power, real power, and the kind that does not depend on anyone else showing up correctly.
So, what do we do with all of this? I will give you three things. Three things you can begin. Maybe not next year, not when the right person appears. Now, you know what I mean, yeah? The first is this. Set the standard before you open the door. Not while someone is already in the room. Not after you are already attached and making it work in your head before. Get honest. Not with a journal, not with a best friend in your gut about what you actually need. Not what you think you deserve, what you need. Because here is the gap that costs people so much. What you think you deserve has usually been edited down, shrunk by every experience where someone treated you as less and you said, oh, okay, right, I'll take this. What you actually need, when you're quiet and honest, is more safety, more presence, more accountability. The work is closing that gap, expanding your sense of your own worth until it finally matches what your heart actually requires. The second thing, practice tolerating peace. I know that sounds unusual, but if your nervous system has been wired for intensity, for the highs and lows, for the chase and the catch, you have to actively teach yourself that stability is safe, that ease is not emptiness, that when someone is consistent with you and warm with you and there is no drama, you are not missing anything. You have arrived. I tell my clients something. I say, every time you are in a calm, stable situation and your brain starts looking for the problem, stop and say out loud or in your head, this is safe. This is what I asked for. I do not need to create a storm to feel alive. It sounds simple, but I am telling you, said consistently over time, it rewires things. And the third thing, become genuinely, comfortably alone. Not lonely, alone. Because if solitude frightens you, if the idea of an empty Saturday evening sends you reaching for someone, anyone, then you will accept almost anything to fill that space. And the wrong person can feel that. They are drawn to it. The person who needs validation, who will overlook things, who is too afraid to leave, that person is visible in ways they cannot see themselves. But the person who has learned to enjoy their own company, who is full before anyone else adds to them, that person has nothing to hook into. The wrong person moves on, and the right person, finally, has somewhere real to land. Let me close with this. Whoever you are, wherever you are in your story, your history with relationships is not a life sentence. The patterns that brought you here were formed to protect you at some point. They made sense. They served a purpose. But you are not who you were when those patterns were written. And the moment you decide, not wish, not hope, decide to look honestly at yourself, the patterns begin to lose their power. The moment you confront what you have refused to confront, that is the moment the door to something new actually opens. On the other side of that work is a version of love that does not hurt to be in, that does not require you to shrink, that does not make you feel crazy for wanting consistency. A version of love that feels like home, but a home that is actually genuinely safe.
That is available to you, I believe that completely. But it starts here. It starts with honesty. It starts tonight. Okay.